Hello everybody, this is Goofsome Fox coming at you with two matches here in the new banner suits, the Hazel Custom Icarus units equipped. These are both going to be ground matches here. This first one is going to be on Impact Site, while the next one is going to be on Port Base, and it's actually going to be regular Port Base, not the High Tide variant, so very surprised to see the regular Port Base back in rotation, so really wanted to have a match on that map as best as I could, and was lucky to get one. But yeah, the Icarus units equipped Hazel Custom here is our newest banner mobile suit, and as usual I'm going to go over some of the, loadouts and skills that I think are worth mentioning before getting into the real nitty-gritty, the real meat and potatoes of this video here, which is really going to be, talking about the suit, what I think about it, and if I think it might be worth getting, because I did have really high hopes for it in my testing video I made. So we'll start off with the basic loadouts here. And for the Hazel Custom Icarus unit equipped, I should mention you are a 550 cost raid, and the suit is usable on both ground and space. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a good space match in it, but it's something I might try to work on in the future. But yeah, this is a raid unit, and you are a flying raid unit. And with your weapons here, you do have a long beam rifle that is exclusive to this mobile suit. Now this is a very interesting weapon because it does have 5 rounds of ammunition, and when you do just a normal fire, it will count as a instant stun, but if you do a charge shot, you can focus fire it. It will take whatever is left in your magazine, and it will fire a Jirobi beam, and this Jirobi beam is going to come in handy with some of the skills that this suit has, but yeah, if you have either all 5 rounds or you only have 1 round left in your magazine, you can do a focus fire to get this Jirobi, and this primary weapon is actually really good. I really like this rifle. Very versatile with the charge and also just having the uncharged instant stun option. I think that is really good for this mobile suit here. Also has some really nice range as well, so yeah, really nice weapon here. This is the only weapon you can use. You can't switch it out for a regular Hazel beam rifle or anything, but overall, yeah, pretty good primary weapon here. You also have your own beam saber for this mobile suit here. And yeah, beam saber is pretty nice, does some pretty decent melee damage, even though melee strength isn't the strongest aspect of the Icarus unit equipped Hazel Custom here. But it does also have a really nice downswing as well, where you actually kind of propel yourself forward, and that is very nifty both for when you are flying and also when you're just in the ground in general, because it means that if you try to go for a downswing, you don't have to be necessarily super close to an enemy. You can have some distance between you and them, and just go in for a downswing and you'll be able to get again just some of that extra propulsion forward. You do have a bullpup machine gun, which I am using right now, or at least I was using it, and this is a burst fire bullpup machine gun. It does stun in around 3 bursts, so a very nifty weapon there. You have the beam reflector, which I really don't count this as a weapon. I feel like this is more of a utility tool, but this is a very interesting part of this suit, where once you activate it, this temporarily deploys a beam reflector, and when you are attacked by beam weapons in vicinity of this reflector, your damage taken and stagger due to cumulative damage is reduced. So, yeah, very interesting aspect of this suit here, which is something I'm going to get more into later into the video, kind of what I think about this, because this kind of reminds me of the eye field that, I think what the EXS has. I think also the Full Armor Hayaku Shiki has it as well, so kind of reminds me of that, but instead it's something you have to activate. So very interesting there. You also have a club that is exclusive to this, and it's basically just a Sturmfaust. You fire it, it's like a one-time pocket rocket. Pretty simple weapon, does count as an instant stun. And then you have a shield booster, which is located on the back of the mobile suit there. And for the few skills that I want to go over, you do have Maneuver Armor level 2 and a emergency evasion system. I don't know what word I made up there, but yeah, you have both that and a dodge roll, which is really nice. You have melee combo control level 1, so you only have 2 melee swings. And then for your special skills here, you do have shield booster controller. This is for the shield booster on the back, where as long as that shield is still in one piece, you'll be able to have mid-air high-speed movement and increase high-speed movement by 15. This also reduces your thruster drain at the start and end of high-speed movement, and reduces stagger when hit by range attacks, also during high-speed movement. So you do get some extra benefits for boosting. And also, since this shield booster is on the back, it's not really going to get hit too much, but in the instance it does break, they did give you shield break stance mastery, so that's really good. You do have flight system level 2, that's how you fly with this suit, and this is the same flight that really is common with a lot of flight suits, like the Biolent Custom, the Isolod, and I think the regular Goof flight type also has this version of the skill as well. You have high-spec flight control. That's basically what allows you to melee in specific directions. And then you have the immobile aerial fire, which I do believe this is a skill that the Violent Isolod had, where when you are in your flight mode, this increases the damage while not moving by 50%, and it also reduces your thruster consumption and stagger from cumulative damage. So another skill there that is meant to help with cumulative damage, but yeah, this is a very nice skill on this suit. I do think it's a lot more handy on here than the Isolod. Still really don't know why the Isolod got that skill, because the way it seems like it's always been built, never really felt like a range-focused suit, really just felt more like a melee suit with the Isolod, but that could just be me there. But yeah, that's everything I have to say here for the skills and loadouts, and yeah, now we can get to the meat and potatoes that I mentioned earlier, which is, yeah, the suit is very interesting, to say the least. Now, the matches I do have here are the best matches that I have gotten, but I'll admit, this suit is, admittedly not one that I have been able to get really decent matches with. Really, the two results that I was getting the most were 5th and 8th place while using this, which 5th place is a bit more doable. You know, if you're on a team on a 5v5, that just kind of means you were the lowest on your team. But 8th place, obviously not that good. As I kept playing it, though, I did start getting better with it, started seeing more higher on the board results, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I think that aspect of it is what makes it kind of hard for me to recommend getting it or not, because the suit is a 3-star. I will go over the strengths here first. I did mention the long beam rifle. I do think this is a really nice primary weapon. Just the versatility of having a instant stun and that Jirobi. I think it's a really nice pair, especially if you are pairing it with the immobile aerial fire. In my testing video, when I compared the Jirobi with and without flight, yeah, you were doing much more damage with that than if you were to use it while moving or on the ground. And another thing that helps with this too is that when you do fire the Jirobi, it is stop to fire. So that effect of, you know, stopping while in the air is really just going to apply instantly. So you won't have to worry about, you know, having to stop your suit itself to get that extra damage, as it'll pretty much already be there. Another nifty thing too is that while you are firing the Jirobi and your thrusters overheat, you will not just fall out of the air. It will let you finish your Jirobi first, and you'll just fall from the air when your Jirobi finishes, or if somebody does manage to shoot you out of the air. That is the only other conditioning where it can be, you know, cancelled. Other than that, the bullpup I do think is also really nice. The bullpup is a really nice, I feel like, closer ranged weapon where, you know, if somebody's trying to chase after you, like, you can use it to try to get a stun off somebody and maybe try to get a melee. Unfortunately, my melee failed on that perfect Gundam there, but I'll be getting back up soon and getting back into the fight. But I do think the bullpup is pretty nifty as an accumulation weapon. It's also really good if you don't want to, you know, get a stun on a teammate. Maybe you want to fire it into a crowd. So it's always useful for stuff like that. And then you do have that Sturmfaust as well, where that is just basically a instant stun, so very nice to have. You can probably pair that with the beam rifle, where you can, go with the Sturmfaust first, then go with the normal fire from a beam rifle, so you do have some combo potential there. When it comes to the beam reflector, I do have questions about how realistically useful this thing is, because if you noticed about the Hazel custom Icarus unit equipped, you have much bulkier parts of your suits than the torso there, and I really do not feel like the reflector was getting hit in most situations. I believe it might, yeah, it's on right now, and as you can see, I don't think many of the beam shots from that perfect Gundam were really hitting my torso, especially since I was flying. They're more likely to hit my legs, so I do feel like the reflector here, I don't know if it just needs to have a wider area that it protects, or I don't know. I just really feel like I haven't really seen much from using this, and especially since you have to activate it yourself, I do think that is kind of weird. You also really don't have no clear way of knowing when it's on and off, because it's kind of hard to see with how bulky the shoulders are on this suit. I do wish there was like something that, like a notification that told you when it was activated. Kind of like, when you have stealth maybe, or maybe just something to the side of the screen, like a timer just telling you, hey, this is how long you have for your beam reflector before it goes into overheats. Not really too much of a complaint there, but just something that, again, that's a bit more of a nitpick with knowing when the reflector is activated, but yeah, definitely have not noticed too much in terms of this thing getting hit, and you'll know when it gets hit too, because you'll see the beam kind of disperse against your chest, so you do know when it works, but again, I just really haven't seen that much in terms of results using it. Other than that, the Beam Saber is alright. Again, I don't think you're really a melee-based raid. You do want to use this a bit more ranged with the skills and weapons you have. Definitely recommend trying to use that Jirobi as much as you can. But even with all the positive things I can say about this suit, I do think it's still on the weaker end, because I really don't think it's the suit itself, but I think it's more some of the suits that you have to fight against. I already mentioned the Perfect Gundam TB. That suit just has really high accumulating weapons, and then you also have the bazooka that it has as well, so that's going to go right through your beam reflector and your high beam defense as well, because this suit naturally has 30 beam resistance, so yeah, that's going to punch right through your highest resistance there. But even besides that, there is the Gyaradoga Saikumu test type, which is still the dominating 550 cost raid, and I did mention in my testing video, kind of wondering, will the suit be able to compare to the raid Psycho Testoga? No. No, I don't think this suit even necessarily comes close to what the Psycho Test Doga can do, but that's another suit too, where it's just like, with the funnels that suit has, it has really no issue trying to reach this suit with the funnels, and because those funnels are high accumulation and aim all around your suits, the beam reflector really is not going to help you, and just that quick accumulation stagger has the potential to knock you out of the air. Another thing that I think is actually a really good counter for this suit has been the Jetta cannon. And the Jetta cannon, because it has, again, just a lot of accumulation weapons, especially the primary when you charge it, that is a suit that I have had trouble dealing with the Hazel Custom Icarus unit equipped here. Jetta cannons are just probably the toughest support for this suit to deal with. I feel like if you're dealing with any other support, they're easy to get to, and, use the Jirobi, get your stun, maybe go for a melee. The Jetta cannon is just not like that. That suit is just completely built different when it comes with the way that this suit has to approach it. But yeah, I think I still do like the general concept of the suit. When I got those first matches that I mentioned, where I said I was like low on the scoreboard, I was disappointed, but kind of started seeing later on that there is the building blocks for an actually decent raid here. Not even just a decent raid, but a very decent flight suit. Because I really don't play a whole lot of flight suits. The one that I probably play the most is the Goof Flight test type, and that's probably my favorite one to use, but I feel like this suit here, it does have the potential, I feel, to be a really viable pick for 550. It's really just that I feel like they need to buff it a bit to really kind of help it with some of its strengths and weaknesses. Kind of like get what it's good at, maybe try to buff that up a bit. And yeah, other than that, yeah, I feel like for now, it really is up to the type of player. I do think if you like flight suits, I do think this is a really nice flight suit. If you're looking for a 550 cost raid though, I do think there are still better options. Again, the Gyaradoga Saikumu test type, still a really strong 550 cost raid. There's really no denying it with that suit, how strong it is. So, yeah, I feel like if you want this suit, you do want to pull for it, I would say go ahead, but it's not really a suit that I can strongly recommend that, like, get this now and it'll be really good. I really don't know what lies in future for this suit. They might buff it, or maybe it'll eventually balance itself out. Maybe it'll get better as more people play it, but really I feel like that's not even a thing too, because I have not seen really anybody playing the suit, so yeah, it's also been another thing there, just really lack of anybody using this. But before we get to the closing here, yeah, I did get top in diversions for this match here, and 4th place overall with 5 kills and 2 loss, not too bad there. And yeah, that's it for the 2 matches that I have here using the Hazel Custom Icarus unit equipped. And like I said, really, if you want it, if you really want it, if you like the suit, or it is something that you think looks interesting, then I would say, yeah, you could try pulling for it. I don't know if this is going to be a suit for everybody. As I mentioned, I don't really play flight suits that much, so if you don't like playing like the flight suits style, like the Violence or the Goof Flight types, then you could probably skip on this. Or as I mentioned, if you already have a really good 550 cost raid that you're good with, you could probably skip on this as well. So again, really just up to the player if they want to pull for it or not. I'm really hoping they do buff it, at least even a little bit. I just feel like the building blocks for a good suit are there. So yeah, gonna be playing the suit more in the future, and really just kind of gonna, keeping an eye on it, see if they do anything with it. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video here. Comment down below what you think about the Hazel Custom Icarus unit equipped. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and with that, I will see you all in the next one. Later.